So hi everyone. Kat and I just wanted to hop on a call really quick today because on Monday I posted a blog about the fact that it's springtime and this is the perfect time to make your space amazing and do a lot of spring cleaning and really bring in that energy of new beginnings and just kind of cleansing and clearing your space. And so I wanted to have Kat come on to chat with you guys today, obviously, because Kat is the space master. So why don't you introduce yourself?
So the simplified life, what is that? To me, it's getting rid of all the shit we don't need to make room for what we love. In my own life, that has recently looked like bringing back DJing. Like I hadn't DJed in 10 years and I kind of gave it up because respectable adults don't do that. Oh my God. You know, you DJ, what? And it killed my soul. And so I'm just coming to you now. Like I've had this company for a long time, over a decade. We started as professional home organizing, put things in bins and boxes and label it. And I mean, we can make it look pretty, don't worry. But what's the why? Why do we want to do all that? And really it is to figure out what lights our soul on fire and not get bogged down by that last hit of dopamine we got on Amazon or whatever. So that's a little bit of my ethos. I'm loving the Land Rover comments. All right, well, you guys, if you have any questions, maybe not about Land Rovers today or about Land Rovers, we can do that too.
Let me guess, it's a channel about living a healthy lifestyle. Almost. We're here today to talk about just creating a space that we love and bringing the things into our lives that really light us up. Like Kat was just saying, starting DJing again. I am an artist. I make stained glass, so space is really important to me. Beauty is really important to me. And this spring, I've really been on a journey from having this art business where I'm making things that they sell and they're lovely, but for me, what I really want this year is to kind of shift the energy and start making stuff that just like lights me up, like experimental stuff, strange things, changing the energy of the vibe, not caring so much about like making products and making everything perfect. Just really being on this journey of like following the vibe and getting just lit up about our lives.
I love that so much because we've got like, what was it, like a $27 billion marketing industry aimed at us. Like, yeah, you should buy the organic food and you should do this and you should do that and you should, you know, have everything in perfect little bins and boxes and your house should look like this. And it's like, fuck that. Like, none of that's important. That's all just marketing to make big ass companies more money, to make you feel fear. And so that's just it. With your art, like, well, probably putting yourself maybe in boxes of like, well, this is what I should do. This is how I should show up on Instagram. We were even talking about that before. Like, well, you know, when's the best time to post and when should we be doing? We get so bad bogged down in all these fucking shits and they don't matter. They're all made up, mostly by people that just want our money.
Totally. And I think that's the thing that I'm really feeling this spring, this springtime energy. Like we just had this crazy eclipse, a bunch of like crazy stuff came up in people's lives. And I'm really hearing it from a lot of people that we're doing a lot of the things that are expected from us. And that includes what is around us. We make our homes and our spaces look like they're supposed to be off of like Pinterest or like what we're supposed to. We do the stuff that we're supposed to, making the content that everyone else is making. We're doing all of these things to kind of fit into these boxes. And I think one of the things that I'm really feeling this year is that we're all tired of it. We all really want to start creating space and creating a life that's unique to us and feels really good and is a lot more authentic. And in the blog that I wrote on Monday, all about like creating sacred space in your home, it was really about intention. So it's like, yes, there are these ways of tips and tricks we have, like set aside a space that's just for that, or somewhere that's quiet, and like all of those are fine. But I think the whole point about living an intentional life in any capacity is really to be intentional and make it feel good to you. So that applies to everything in life, and we really need to spend a lot of energy just creating something that feels good to us, not what everyone else says, but something that's unique to our heart.
Preach. And it was so interesting this past week. I spent time helping a client clear out. They had an injury and they had just so much stuff bought just in case and just out of fear and just because I might need it someday. And all of that still feeds into that fear and those shoulds. And it's like, okay, but if no one was going to be mad at you, what would you be doing? If no one was going to tell you you were bad or dumb or wrong or stupid, if no one would be like, why the fuck did you do that to me? What would you actually be doing? What would your space look like? What would your life look like? And I mean, that's my thing. Like, I don't want anyone to look like a fucking Pinterest board if they don't care. Who cares if your pantry is perfectly organized if you're miserable? Like, there's, ugh. So I don't know. How does that apply in art? Like, where do you see yourself going with that?
I mean, for me, that really resonates right now because as a professional artist, my life is a little bit different than just making therapeutic art for people. So I have to think about product lines and I have to think about like the type of art that I'm releasing at certain times and how that will all roll out. And I think one of the things that's come into my practice a little bit in the last like couple of years has been this stagnancy of like, know that this sells. So I'm going to keep making this design and it ran out in the shop. So I should make more of those. And I'm making these like repeats, which is fine. And some of them I do really love and they feel really authentic, but there are definitely things where I, like the order will roll in and I'm like, I don't want to make that. And like, that's not the energy I want to bring into my art because I really do believe that objects carry vibration and they carry power, and that starts with me. And so if I'm making art from a place of just stagnancy and scarcity because I'm making it because I know that it will sell and it's scary to take a leap on like a new design that I don't know if anyone's going to buy it or not, then I'm in that space of doing what's expected of me and coming from a place of scarcity that's not useful to my clients or my own energy. And so I think the bravery of letting stuff go that we know works, follows the algorithm, you know, those reels we know will hit, but they don't feel good to us because it's not authentic to our heart right now. I think we all just need to practice like letting go of that stagnant energy, even if it's scary and even if the new stuff like falls flat. Who cares? Like you're taking up DJing again and you're rocking your Twitch and that energy is coming in. But even if it wasn't, it's what feels aligned to you right now. And that's all that should matter.
Exactly. And I just saw a name come in, shout out Big Luther, another friend that was like, you know what? I've wanted to DJ for 20 years and he's been setting up his Twitch channel alongside mine. We're having so much fun. And that's just it. It's when you let go of those shoulds and you go toward where where energy flows, where attention goes, energy flows. And so it's like, if you're really into something, it makes you the lighthouse. And people are like, oh, I want some of that energy. I want to be near that. Oh, this piece that Jodi did, you know, it might be like your technically worst piece. Let's just say like if an art critique was going to come in.
Totally.
You know, and they were just like, oh my God, like this is awful, maybe that way. But then you were like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. I love this. I'm putting all my energy into it. Guess what? That's the piece that's actually going to bring the people to you.
Totally. Or that one person that it's meant for. And that's enough.
Exactly. And I think, I know I have big dreams and big visions. Watch out, world. They're coming. And it's every bit as important as like, if not more important, who's the one person we touched today? Who's the one client we helped today? Who's the one person that woke up and saw their meditation feather next to their Keanu Reeves pillow and was like, oh, I love that. That just makes me so happy to look at in the morning. So I think when we let go of all the things we've been told we should do and marketed at, that is truly what the artists, the healers, the helpers are here for right now. I think we all have a very specific role on the earth at this time. I think our souls chose to come here right now. And when we're not acting in our purpose, when we're not doing what lights us up, then that detracts from that. It takes away.
Yeah. And I really think that this applies to everyone right now. It's not just you and me as like an artist and a healer. You know, I think the message that I'm just feeling resonating around is that we need to be focusing on what lights us up, even if it's illogical. Like, there's so much pain and suffering and terrible stuff in the world right now, and we can sit in our place of scarcity and do the things that feel safe and do the things that we know will like have the moderately okay outcome, or we can do the stuff that just like blows us open and brings us joy, even if that joy is only for us or only for our family or only for that one friend. Like, I think that there's something that's so important there. And as you were talking, I was thinking of this quote, this Rumi quote, that's one of my favorite ones. And whenever I'm sitting in this place of like scarcity, I like use this as a mantra. And it's when I run after things that I think that I want, my days are a journey of anxiety and distress. And when I sit in my place of patience and joy, what I want comes to me and without any pain. And it's just like, there's so much truth to that. That when we're in our joy and we're not running after things that we think will get us the stuff that will meet our needs, when we're just sitting in this presence and loving our lives and gratitude and experiencing the beauty that is still in the world, despite what the news tells us, you know, right? I think that that's when stuff really shifts for us. And even if that's just on a personal level, that's enough. That's all we need to be doing right now. It doesn't have to be massive. We need to stop following these Instagram accounts that promise this, like, these crazy billions of followers and millions of dollars. Like, that's not the point of life. The point is to feel fulfilled and bring in the energy that lights us up.
Well, so it's funny because I had a social media manager and he did blow my account up. And then it got hacked and banned, like we were talking, and that just went away. Yeah, like there's no reach on it now. Like I'm stoked that some of you are seeing this right now because it doesn't get out to anyone. And that's the thing, when we focus on those bigger vanity metrics or whatever, we're missing the point of that person that we can just touch right now. And it's really the most important work in the world. As they say, hurt people hurt people. So what can you do to make yourself a happy person, or at least a content person, or feeling peace? Because happiness is like a cloud in the sky, like that comes and goes. But it's funny, I was raised Christian, and there was a verse, the peace that passes all understanding, and I never really got it. I was like, until this past year. And I was like, I wake up in the morning and I'm so fucking peaceful. Like, I lost everything. The universe simplified the shit out of my own life for me. I was like, okay, all right, let's try this now. And, I live in a little cute Aloha trailer. I don't have much, but I have peace, and that is worth more than anything. And the thing is, when I'm coming now and meeting people and talking with people and whatnot, they can feel that. And if I can use that to lift them up a little bit, or they can borrow a little bit of that energy, that creates that ripple effect out in the world. Yeah. And that's, we can't change the big things going on right now, but we can change what is around us. Oh, we're gonna light our arm on fire with a candle. There we go. We almost got spicy up in here. That was warm.
You're really lighting it up.
So, but yeah, if you go out to the store and you're in a good mood and you're smiling, and then you see that person, they're maybe a little like down, and you're like, oh my gosh, I love your necklace you're wearing right now. And you see that person light up a little bit. Guess what? You just changed the world.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is something that is really coming through to me lately, is that we buy stuff, we control our world, we do all these things in order to feel secure and safe. That's why we want these things. And what if instead of focusing on those things, we focused on creating that feeling of safety and security in ourselves. And if that was handled, then everything else gets to come from a place of joy. It's fine to buy pretty stuff. It's even fine to buy senseless stuff. It's fine. My house is ridiculous. Like, look at how much art I have on the wall. It all makes me just like blissfully happy. It's ridiculous. Most people would not love living in my house, but it makes me so happy because every single piece that I have is a memory, comes from other artists that I work with, but love, like things that make my home feel so good to me. So like, I am not a minimalist. I think that it's totally fine to be doing those things, but I think the point is that intention again of why we're doing it. If we're dopamine scrolling on Instagram or buying from Amazon because that feeling will make us feel okay, then that's not useful to our lives. But if we're in a place of centeredness and peace and groundedness, we get to go on Instagram and be inspired by the amazing things that people are doing or make connections like you and I have on here. Like it's not the things that are bad. It's the place that we're coming from being a place of lack and scarcity.
Exactly. Like I worked with a coach or mentor for a while, and her thing was always, are you seeking external saving? Are you seeking saving in that person, in that relationship, in that next purchase, in that Netflix binge, in the bottom of a wine bottle, whatever else? Like, are you seeking something else to make you, outside of you, to make you feel better? And that's when I walk into a lot of homes that are very cluttered. It's very apparent, yes, that it was coming from like, well, if I just buy this thing, then that's going to make me feel safe because I have stuff around me. So if the zombie apocalypse happens, we're okay, and whatnot. And the thing is, we can't control anything, as you were talking about earlier. Nothing. We're always one death or birth or firing or hiring or graduation or move or relocation, whatever, away from our life looking completely different, or a pandemic or whatever. Or whatever they decide this year is the next thing to distract us with. But we don't know. Only death and taxes. Like, unfortunately, the only constant is change, and throw like any other thing in there. But when we are able to sit in that peace and know that we're the sky and we're not the clouds, those clouds pass. The happiness, the joy, the this, the that. But when we're just the sky, there's that peace in there. And that's what I hope people at least take away from my work, is that we don't need all the things, the stuff. It wasn't about the stuff to begin with. I made a billionaire's wife cry one time. She's like, it's the garage. And I went and I looked at the garage and I was like, this garage is like an after photo. So this is definitely not the garage. Okay. And then we go around the house, and then I told her what I intuited from the thing, and she starts bawling because it had to do with her relationship. And she was just like, it's not about this stuff, is it? And I mean, that's from a billionaire, someone that can just, I want that, I want that, this, I want that. They can buy anything. And they were moved to tears when they realized it's not about this stuff.
Absolutely. And I really hope, I mean, I'm an object maker, and yes, people are buying stuff from me. But when I make those things, for me, it's not even about the item. It's about the energy that things carry. And I don't want people to buy stuff from me just because they want more pretty things in their house. I want them to buy something from me because they want to pull some sort of energy that they need into their lives. And I think that that's what creating space and an intentional life around you should look like. So for you, what are some of the things that you tell your clients? Like, what are some of the techniques that you would use to help people do that?
Well, for one, like you're just saying, stuff isn't bad. And it just depends the weight that we put on it and why we have it. It's like you said, it's always intention. I have an ungodly amount of your stained glass, and it makes me very happy. I have the moon here. I've got the feather over there. I have the crescent moon in my studio. I have the feather somewhere. It's floating around. I gifted the dragonfly because I got a hit that they needed it. So I have so much Virgin America stuff, and because I loved working for Virgin, and I have, and all my music stuff. But it's like, so what I tell clients is, what lights your soul up? What is truly important? What helps you either focus or be excited, or makes you look at it and say like, oh gosh, that was such a good time. I love that. It puts you in a good space. Keep that. It's fine. You can have a completely packed house, and if you truly enjoy it, love it, did not buy it from a place of scarcity or fear or filling a hole, like, great, rock out with your bad self. Like, I don't want to dust it for you, fuck that, but you got to take care of it. So I tell them, being realistic. Also, so many people have maybe like a walk-in closet sized wardrobe, and then their closet is like a 1950s one with a bar this big. And it's like, you have to be realistic. Are you going to move and build a giant ass house? No? Then why are you continually feeling bad about the things that are in it because they don't quite fit? So I tell them to right size. It's not about having 15 items that fit in a backpack and being, the white prototypical minimalist that travels the world, whatever. Like, there's no rules. There's no certain way you have to be in your home. You have to do what makes you feel good. And another thing is, your partner's stuff is really none of your business. You can't change it. You can't throw it away. You can't shame them into fixing things. You can work on your own things. You can declutter those. You can get really curious about your relationship to stuff and things and why you have more, but you can't change them. The funny part is, though, once you start changing yourself and letting go of things you don't love, they feel that energy and they're like, oh, they're so much lighter and happier, and maybe they're onto something, and they stop nagging me. So now I kind of want to help them, and I want to make this a beautiful space. So that's like a huge one. I have like 9/10 of a psych degree. I didn't finish 2 classes. I should have, but I'm like, I use this shit every day at work.
Yeah.
Doing marriage counseling. It's like, you can't change your partner. Another one is just thinking about the life cycle of stuff. I posted a reel where I was going to the dump, and the sad part is, in the US, our recycling is abysmal. Our single-use stuff sucks. Like, we're such a plastic instant now country that we really have to think of, okay, I bought this and it's cute and fun and shiny right now, but where's it going to wind up in 2 months?
Yeah.
Like, the funny part, I was laughing this morning. I pulled on a pair of jeans that I got probably in 2008, 2007. And were they on sale? Yes. But were they like another pair that I really loved? Yeah. I think I got them for $100, regularly 300. I'm still wearing them today. How many years is that?
Yeah.
So it's like, focus on what you love, even if it costs a little bit more. If it's feasible to get the one really nice pair of jeans versus the 3 pair of Target shitty jeans that are going to fall down because they stretch out, get the one nice pair.
Yeah.
Get the quality. It's like that stupid quality over quantity, always.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is just baby steps. I have a book coming out in July, a workbook around this, which is, everyone watched all those decluttering TV shows, and I would get all these phone calls like, hi, we're moving on Monday. Can we do our house this weekend? No, you cannot. It's really about taking that 5 minutes a day, doing things within your window of tolerance. Our nervous system, when we make a big change, goes, oh, we're going to die. And we don't want to trigger it like that. So we do little tiny actions. So maybe today you go and you declutter one little drawer, and it takes you 5 minutes. I mean, that's why we meet every week on Twitch. We have the Get Shit Done hour from 3 hours, from 6 to 9 PST. Come join us. And I play music, and people just work on a little tiny project. And that way we're doing it with friends. We have that village support, and we're getting stuff done slowly, incrementally. And that's really the way to do it. If you try to make a big change, or you go and pull out all your clothes and you put them on your bed because you're going to sort it. No, what you're going to do is go, and then you're going to close the door, and then you're going to go to the beach, and it's not going to get done. And then you're going to feel guilty, and then you're going to get home and you're going to shove it on the floor. And then you're going to be like shopping out of your floor pile for the next 6 months, and it's going to suck. So do these tiny little incremental bits, and you'll actually see progress in the decluttering and simplifying.
I love that. I think one of the things that came up for me when you were talking too is it's not just about the life cycle of the product in terms of garbage, but also in terms of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the things that's really coming up for me, because there's some really horrible things happening in the world right now. And it's so overwhelming to know how to tackle those things or how to help or support. We just get so lost. And one of the things that we often do to make ourselves feel better is to have stuff. It helps us, gives us that dopamine. Like we see that thing on Instagram that advertises to us. We just saw a whole bunch of terrible things and we're like, oh, this stuff thing is shiny and makes me feel better. But I really encourage people to also think about that pattern as well, because so many of that quick impulse things that we buy to like kind of get that dopamine is also doing terrible things to people around the world. And those cheap things that are made, those jeans from Target, those things from Amazon, like so many of that is coming from places where the people making and creating and manufacturing them are treated horribly in these terrible places. And we're just increasing that energy in our lives and in the world by kind of participating in that energetic life cycle. And so one of the things that I've been getting really excited about in the last year is I decided I'm doing things like only buying like natural fiber clothes. I want them to last forever. I want to be able to fix stuff. I want to be able to repair things. That's a really big deal to me. And then I'm getting really into like researching the ethics of companies. And if I see something I like, I have this game with myself where I see something that's advertised to me on Instagram, and I play this game where I go and see if I can find the Chinese factory that it's manufactured in. I see how much they're selling it for in that Chinese factory. And if it's 20 cents that I can find it for and they're selling it for $30, I'm not going to buy it. But I'm like, so what's this item giving me that I'm interested in? And then it's really joyful and fun to find someone else that I actually like want to contribute energy and that excitement to get that product from. So I'm not like denying myself these items, but I'm enjoying and participating in this research process of like, ooh, that thing is really cool. And instead of that impulse like dopamine of like, but spent $20, that thing came from some crummy like Chinese company. Now it's in my house and it's not really great anyway. Like instead I get to like put energy into people who are actually making cool stuff in the world, and I still get to have the thing, and it's often a better thing and a thing that I will keep and use and is quality instead of just like these little dopamine blips, you know?
Well, that's fine. Like on the topic of dopamine, I took a course from my friend Mo. It's called the Dopamine Advantage, and it talks about our control dopamine versus our desire dopamine. And so that desire dopamine gets triggered right when we're Amazon buy, Amazon buy. And the fun thing is we can get that same dopamine hit if we do what you did, which is waiting, and that actually sends our dopamine all the way to the prefrontal cortex instead of the mesolimbic cortex. And so when we get it all the way up to here, we're actually increasing our fortitude in the sense of being able to delay gratification, but also feel that good feel. And so you can still get the high, but it's actually even better high. You know, it's not cut with anything. It's not the street version, it's the good version. And so there's another thing too. If you're starting out on this journey and you're like, I feel guilty about the stuff on Amazon, or I feel guilty about fast fashion, or I feel guilty about this, you know what else is great? Just cut your consumption. Guess what?
Totally.
You're buying 2 things that were from a shitty factory because we can't change the world right now completely. You're still cutting your consumption.
Totally.
And you can feel good about that. And it's always a line, because I really went down to like, I'm going to have, you know, trash that only fits in here. And so like, I'm going to be zero waste and I'm going to this and that. And then I got sick and I wasn't able, and unrelated to that venture, but I wasn't able to do that as diligently. So I had to find a way of like, okay, but how can I still feel good and still do my part and maybe not adding to the waste? And it's like, you know, maybe not getting a new car every 3 years, or I have a 71, that I've never bought a new car. I've always bought a used car. Like, where could you buy used? Where could you buy thrifted? Where could you go on free cycle? We have a couple people in our group that are so good at free cycle. They get the best shit free because it's in the name.
Yeah.
And you will still get that fun of the acquisitioning. And we're hunter gatherers
Really.
by nature. Like that is just in our DNA. Like, so, but I love that. And I love kind of the researching and how you found a way to make a game out of it, make it more sustainable for yourself. And again, though, if you're could only afford the $8 thing on Amazon, like I was broke. Like, I mean, and I'm part of me is like, but that's all I could afford, and
Really.
that's okay. But just buy the one you need, not the 15, because you want every color. Because
Yeah.
that's feeding that seeking saving out there.
And I think the core message of cutting yourself some slack is so essential. Like, especially in the wellness world, there are so many things that we should be doing, which comes back to the premise of this talk, right? Is that right now is not about what we should be doing. And all of these things, all these pressures of like being these perfect people and appearing perfect on social media and having the perfect home and all of those things, that's not what matters. The point right now is bringing more joy into your experience. And I think when we're approaching the world in that joy and that intention, rather than just being on autopilot and doing those things that just like are making us feel okay, then our choices automatically change to what we can offer the world, and that really shifts, so like I don't want to shame anyone who cannot afford designer fancy clothes that will last forever. That is not the point. The point is to be intentional about the things that you're bringing into your life. And if it's an $8 thing from Amazon and it brings you so much joy, do it. Like, great. And then this other thing, like, the point is to make an intentional choice around it. And that intention can be exciting when you're like, look, I'm supporting this like other incredible artist or this designer, or like I saw this lip shop on Instagram, and then I researched this other person who's like making it out of vegan materials out of their basement. Like, how cool is that? Like, those things can be fun and joyful. And I think the main thing for me right now is to stop getting overwhelmed by like the pressure and the shame of all of the stuff that we should be doing all of the time. Every moment of our lives should be joy. Like, that's what we're here for. It shouldn't be like happiness all day, every day, but it should be joyful. Even when it's hard, it should be hard because we're like doing the difficult things to reach those next goals and those steps. It shouldn't just be like this devastating weight of the scarcity and the pressure that we're all feeling these days. And I think spring is just that time to like start shaking it off and realigning with what we really want and how to make that happen in our lives.
I love that so much. Yeah, I wasn't calling you out because I know what your intentions
No,
are. I just wanted to like clarify.
Good to mention. It's really important because there's much of the wellness community that is about that shame. It's like, how could you not be vegetarian for your whole life? Like, how, like, and that's not the point. The point is, what are the things that you are doing that make you feel good and make you feel like you're contributing to the world and making your life a beautiful place to live for yourself and for the other individuals around you? That should be the only point.
I love that. I love that. Preach. And yeah, it's not happiness. Like, yeah, you're not always going to feel high, but again, there's just that peace that when you can get to that point of, facing those inner demons, figuring out why you function certain ways, why you buy certain things, why you act certain ways, and you get to that point where you've just thoroughly examined why. And it's not fun. I mean, it usually takes a dark night of the soul. It usually takes why the fuck am I here? Why did I choose this? Cool. But when we let go of that victim of like, you know what, I was the common denominator in everything that's happened to me, and all my relationships and all my actions, I've been there the whole time. So it's probably something I'm doing. And when we're really honest about that and we look and begin to take our power back instead of playing a victim, I think that's when all these addictions that we have as a country including shopping, begin to fall away. And then maybe it was funny. I was in Target yesterday and I just kind of giggled because like I needed some allergy medicine. You can hear me. I needed like another shirt because one got all stained and ruined. I needed a couple things, and then I was walking past the home aisle, and I'm like, and I kept walking, like, and I remember, you know, years ago before starting this, I started this business, the Simplified Life, as a reminder to myself because I would buy, I was patient zero on this. And like, do I still love pretty shiny things? Of course, but that addiction aspect to it has gone. And that's what I hope for everyone is once you really do the inner work, the shoulds and the addiction parts really just fall away. And that begins to feel so light and so beautiful and so simple. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That was a very good synopsis of what I wanted to talk about today. So why don't we finish with what's lighting you up right now? I want you to talk about your Twitch and invite people there, all those sorts of things.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. For one, DJ, I found my first flyer last night. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm with Lee Coombs. I'm like, I did not deserve to be on the same flyer as that man. He was an amazing DJ. But anyway, my last gig in San Francisco was in 2014, and I was never great at it, but I've always loved it. I went to raves. It was always about the music. I love that music. And so being able to DJ again in such an accessible way on Twitch has just been like such a game changer. And I didn't even start with wanting to get myself up there. I was trying to get one of my friends back because his light had just gone out. And I'm like, you need music, sir. You're a composer. This is what lights you up. And you know, we always teach what we need to hear, and I was like, oh wait, I think I need this too. So let me get mine together. And so we just have so many beautiful things coming, collaborations with other DJs, and creating these Stardust Ranch retreats where we marry the music, you know, all the fun of a festival, we say, without the hangover, and all the health and wellness of a spa without the snobbery and high price tag and the sheds. You know, drink the green juice, don't, whatever, light yourself up. So we're going to be moving forward with those this year. I have some of those on deck in different states. If you want to learn how to just host a little baby mini retreat to create a beautiful space for you and your friends on, you know, a small budget, like hit me up. Come join us on Twitch every Tuesday night, 6 to 9 p.m. We call it Taco Tuesday. Unofficially, it's the get shit done hour. Just bring a little project to work on, or come say hi and chat. We'll teach you Twitch. It's a whole different language, it seems, but it's really fun once you get into it.
I've never heard about it.
Yeah, it used to just be like 16-year-old gamer nerds on there. Like,
yeah,
I did too. Well,
I came in doing your Twitch last night, and I was like, oh, this is real nice.
It's so much fun.
Like chatting, like being excited about the music that you're playing, like you're playing stuff.
It's so fun. It's just like, yeah, during the pandemic when DJs couldn't play out, Sophie Tucker, the band, actually like took to Facebook and then to Twitch, and that really started it. But right now, music's less than 1% of their audience. I'm like, we need to change that, because this is the platform the scene needs, you know. And it's just, it brings people together. When I first stepped onto a dance floor when I was 18, I was just like, oh, I'm home.
Me too.
My soul, yeah, gosh, I forget. Yeah, we obviously have that in common. And it was just like, oh, these are my people, because there's such a heart opening when you go, and it gets a bad rap, and of course the news sensation, everyone's on drugs. No, they're not. If you want to, great, whatever, like, you do you, boo. But it's not necessarily about that. It's just that connective thing that binds us all together. We're all energy, and music is wavelengths, and it's like, it speaks to us in a different way. So obviously that's what I get really excited about. Yeah. And
where can people find you?
I mean, obviously on here, say hi on Instagram. I'm most active in my DMs here. And then on Twitch, I'm the link is in my link tree, link in bio. But TechnoCat, all K's, 222. You can see it. The screen name's like on my bio part too. So find me there. Find me on here. Say hi. I chat with everyone. Don't let the big follower count fool you. I'm nice and here to talk. So here to connect. Eat a weight loss. Bay Area raised. What's up? I like these names coming through here. These are so fun. I had something go viral in Colombia. We have a lot of Colombian followers, and I'm like, we need to figure out how to actually like reach that. Like take Twitch down there, bring some music. So
awesome, I love that. There's some, man, I've had a lot of friends in Colombia the last couple of years, and there's some cool stuff happening there. That is very high on my list for one of the next places to
really.
visit.
Okay,
oh yeah,
we're gonna talk offline because there's like a solid 20,000 followers from Colombia.
Nice.
We need to bring them into the music. So let's do that.
I'm pretty sure I can ship to Colombia. So far, I haven't found a country that I can't ship to. One of the things that's been the coolest about selling art online, so it used to be you have to have like everything in galleries, you know, and then there's just a few people that come through and hopefully someone likes it and hopefully they take it home. And that's how art happened. And I mean, there's so many problematic things about being online also, but it's so beautiful how many people around the world can find these little niches of things that they wouldn't have had access to otherwise. And like when I have sales, finding like the addresses rolling in from around the world that I get to send things to, it's so special. Like as much as the algorithm and like all of that is really challenging these days, it is a really beautiful space to connect with people all over the planet. And I'm very grateful.
That's why we're going to co-stream, and I'm going to bring the music, and you're going to do the art, and we're going to reach. I have people like in India and the UK and Canada. I'm an honorary Canadian at this point. I have so many Canadian friends. Like y'all, I want to say O's with the cute little boot in there. So cute. So. Yeah. All right. Stay tuned for us on Twitch.
Yeah. And on my end right now, what's what I'm really excited about, I'm having a sale today, which like whatever. I'm just having it because I always have it on Earth Day, and it didn't feel super aligned. I felt really rushed making product, but it's there. If you guys want to go, it's 20% off. Ends at midnight. But I feel really stoked. I have been drawing madly. I have about 30 drawings of new art that's totally different than what I have been doing before. I've been really feeling just really like stuck and really internal the last few years and really stuck in the environments that I have been in. And so I'm starting something I'm calling so far, tentative name, the Wild Woman series. And it's a bunch of like female androgynous bodies that I feel aligned with different sort of nature aspects, creating like weird creatures. I have no idea if anyone's gonna like it but me, but I'm really stoked about it. So
I got chills again. Yeah, this is definitely where your energy's at. Oh, I love it. I'm so excited to see that.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited for both of our projects, and thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. It's always such a pleasure, Kat. Anything else you wanted to say before we sign off?
No. Come visit us on Twitch. Come Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. PST. Come over there, hang out, say hi in chat, say hi on here. Buy one of her feathers or art pieces because they will spark so much joy. There we go. Like a little one. Where is it? There it is. So cute. I love your art. I love you. You're such a beautiful, amazing human. And you've gone through some tough years with such grace and such just always reaching for the light. And I really want you to do a lighthouse.
Oh.
I have to question you. Okay. Cool.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Kat. Everyone who's on here, please go follow her, go see her on Twitch, and talk to you soon.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too.